Hello again, hope everyone's doing well. Today I'm going to be going through Select's newest release, Supremacy 2021, and this is coming off the back of a hugely successful year for Select and the hobby as a whole, all the way from Footy Stars all the way to Optimum. Every release has been extremely successful and well balanced and put together, and this is no different. I think this is a very strong release by Select, and I think it's timed really well because any less, they probably wouldn't have got full value out of this year and how much the hobby has grown. And any more, they'd really be stretching the consumer, the collectors' wallets, because there's only so much money people have and have to put into footy cards, so they can't just keep buying higher end cards for the year. So I think it's a good thing that the Select year is finishing here. Any more would be a bit pushing the envelope, in my opinion. But for this video, I'm not going to be doing the same which I did for Optimum because there's just so many different cards. I don't want to be going through one by one. And that's the first kind of issue I have with this release. I think there's just too many inserts. And me watching the release video, there was 18 different cards. That's including all the parallels and everything, 18 different ones. And that's just overwhelming to me personally. I mean, halfway through the release video, I was losing track of, I forgot half the parallels that were said before, and I said, oh, there's still 8 more to go. Like, it was a huge amount and to take in, and it's just a bit confusing to me as a collector as to what cards should I be going after, what cards are even in release, because there's so many things to choose. And I think lots of cards will be muted because of that. Lots of cards will not break through the barrier, and people have to be very careful because only the upper echelon cards of this release, I think, have a chance long term to grow in value. So that's the first thing that makes me a bit nervous about the release, just the amount of different inserts, and not just the amount, but also the amount of low numbered inserts. Every insert except for the completely standard base card, which is out of 135, I believe, is numbered under 100. So there's just so much competition within this release and also within this whole year of collecting. I haven't counted up, but there must have been 30 or so cards that were numbered under 100 for this year. So it's, like I said, stretching the wallets and also stretching kind of the concentration of collectors, because you used to be able to identify very easily what are the high-end cards you might want. I think that is pushing people maybe away, because if they don't know what to collect, then they feel like, what's the point of collecting at all? Like, if you can't get every high-end card, then what's the point of collecting at all? So it will push some people away, but on the whole, like I said in my previous videos, with these higher-end releases, they always bring in more than they push out. That's not to say it's not sad that some people will be pushed out. That is a shame, but unfortunately that's just how the hobby's going at the moment, and I still think the pros outweigh the cons overall. So the second thing I want to talk about is wallet fatigue. I've already mentioned it, but the hobby's really going to need growth in the future to sustain these kind of prices, and I think that is happening, which is great to see. But it will need to continue happening in the future to sustain the prices, because there's only so much money in the pool, and if the cards keep coming in, the releases keep coming in, especially if they're more high end, then the pool of money is spread thinner, and therefore the prices of cards overall should go down. But if more people enter the pool, then there's more money in the pool, and then the prices won't have to go down. It's a very delicate ecosystem, I believe, and especially in Supremacy, because lots of people who will be affording to buy these higher end cards are affording that because they're able to flip or resell the product. So they might buy it for $695 retail and then resell it for, say, $1,500, and then they think, well, I've made $800 or so therefore I can afford to put that money back into the hobby. And that's kind of free money. So that's one way that the ecosystem works, because it creates value within the hobby. It's different if Select just sold Supremacy for $1,500 a pop and there was no resale value, then the ecosystem wouldn't work as well, because you need to give the collectors a bit of free money so that they have money to reinvest or recollect into the industry. So that's the second point I wanted to make. And the third one, it's just what I said before again. It's how Select have measured the releases, and I think they've done really well. I'm sure they've done lots of market research into how quick the hobby is growing, and how much money is flowing in, and how high they can price things versus will it push people away kind of thing, or will people have enough money to keep buying. So those are my very general points. I didn't want to go card by card in this video because I've done that in previous ones. I just wanted to mix it up a bit. But next I want to go into the flipping and investing side of it. So flipping, love it or hate it, it is part of the hobby now, and it will continue to be as long as these higher end, more hype releases continue. So the main reason I'm talking about flipping is it's the easiest way to make money off these releases. And like I said, that allows lots of people to go out and invest into the hobby in other things. Maybe they like rookie cards like myself from previous sets, or maybe they like vintage cards, vintage Scanlons, whatever they like. Being able to flip and resell does push more money into the hobby. Unfortunately, some people will flip and resell and then just take the profits for themselves, which is, like I said, unfortunate, but it is kind of part of the game that people will be a bit unscrupulous in that regard. So the easiest way, the safest way to make money on this release would be to buy the box and resell. And that's guaranteed to turn a profit. It's not going to resell under $695. In reality, it'll probably sell for much more than that. The thing is, if you resell immediately, you might leave a bit of money on the table. You might say resell it, just for argument's sake, say 1,000. You sell straight away, and then supply dries up over the next couple weeks after everyone's kind of quickly offloaded their boxes. And once the supply dried up, maybe demand is still high, so therefore the price might go to $1,200 or $1,500, and then you've lost out on $200 to $500. But I think if you're looking just for that guaranteed safe money, then that is the best way to do it. Now, once again, I'm not saying that that's the most moral thing to do, but if you want to make guaranteed bucks on this release, that's what people are going to do. The second thing they could do is immediately break the box and then resell the cards within. Now, this is a bit more variable, because if you get all trash cards, then you're not going to be able to resell them for higher than you could the box itself. But when releases are first released, people are willing to pay a very high premium for the cards they're looking for if they can get them immediately. So being the first to the market, if you get the box, break it, and then instantly put it on eBay, you'll be able to get a much higher premium than, say, a month later when the price is settled down. So that's another thing. It's a tad more risky, but it has a higher reward, possible reward, if you're willing to take on a bit of risk. Now, that's the flipping side of it. Personally, I'm not really into the flipping too much. I try to think of things in a long-term fashion, more investing in the hobby. And in this release, what do I recommend investing into? The first thing I like to say is I don't really recommend investing anything into this release. It's a much safer thing to just flip it. If you get the product and you want to just make money out of it, I'd just sell it or break it and sell the cards within, and then go buy what you want to buy outside of that. But if you do want to invest in this release for the long term, there's two ways you can go about it. Firstly, you can hold the sealed box, and it's very possible that there might be an uptick in the future. Once everyone breaks their boxes, there will be reduced supply. I said that previously, about a month in, there might be a reduced supply, but thinking even further, 6 months, a year in, especially because there's a big break between releases now, a reasonably big break. By the time the next release comes around, people might be chomping at the bit, really keen to crack a high-end sealed product. Personally, what do I think? Well, I think it could definitely work in the short to medium, and because it does have a rookie card in this release, generally the best products to keep sealed are those with important rookie cards. So this is the first ultra high-end footy release with rookie cards. So if one of those rookies becomes the next big thing, then yeah, it could be a good product to keep sealed into the long-term future as well. So that's an option if you're interested. The second thing is individual cards, and I wouldn't really recommend going hard at any individual cards, not because they don't have a possibility of going up. They could go up in the future, but I just think there's much better opportunities elsewhere. The cards I usually talk about on this channel, but if you're steadfast and wanting to invest into individual cards in this set, I would say you go really big or you go rookies. Now, the rookies is important, like I said, because it's the first rookie set in an ultra high-end footy release. So this has the opportunity, if and only if these rookies turn out to be big players, this has the opportunity of being a really historical card in the AFL hobby, I think. It's a shame that it's not a signature or anything, but it still would be historical. The next thing is big cards, and these are the triple multiple Norm Smiths, mostly because it has Dusty on it once again, the quad goal kickers, the quad sig, and the Superstar Patch booklet. There's actually quite a few older players included in the Superstar Patch booklet, which is a bit surprising to me because I don't think, personally, I'm not really interested in collecting players that have already retired. I like collecting in the now. I'm sure some people do like getting cards of retired players, but personally it just seems a bit artificial or manufactured, the collectability, if they've already retired, but that's just me. So the only Superstar Patch booklet that I would be going after if you're interested is the Bontempelli. Bontempelli, I think, in the next couple seasons could cement himself as a Brownlow medalist, another premiership under his belt maybe, and then he'll just really be a great of the game by then. So apply a card like this, which is very low numbered. I wouldn't go for this personally, but it could jump up in price in the future. So that's kind of all I wanted to talk about today. Firstly, just general points on the release, and then also about going into the flipping and investing side of it. So I'll see you guys next video, and have a good one.